Our next strapping that we're going to look at is a strapping for the knee. So specifically we'll run through a strapping which is for the MCL or the medial collateral ligament. So this is probably the most commonly injured ligament that we see through rugby. The actual technique that we're going to do can also be applied to the LCL or the lateral collateral, just by kind of swapping the strapping over to the opposite side of the knee. So to start off with, I always recommend getting the athlete to pop their heel up onto a roll of tape, and the reason for that is you do want about a 15 to 20 degree bend in the knee, and that just means that the tape doesn't pull or rip off as soon as they bend their knee. So to start off with, we've got our 2 anchors. And so the key with the anchors, like all the other ones, is just that there's not too much tension there. And I would say roughly they sit about 4 or 5 fingers above the actual kneecap. So that first one there is nice and loose. And then we do the lower anchor, and I'd say roughly 3 or 4 fingers below the bottom of the kneecap there as well. So you don't want to end up halfway down the calf because it won't be that effective. I might just get you spin on that way a tiny bit, Georgia. Good. So the strapping here will work on what's called like an astrax. So we're going to start off coming across, so that first strapping will just cross the midline of where that patella tendon sits, and we're going to pull straight up on a diagonal. And then we're effectively going to do the opposite. And just cross the midline. And coming down. Overlapping those by half. Okay, so on someone like Georgia with a small knee, you can probably get away with doing 2 straps, and then I just finish off with coming straight up through the middle of that astrax. So that's coming up and through the middle of the joint line. I'll just do 2 strips like that. With bigger rugby players' knees, you can probably get away with doing maybe 3 or 4 different straps, but they'll just keep following that same template and keep following that overlap there as well. So that, if you imagine with that MCL, it is a fan-like ligament which cuts across, so that does support it through there, and you do finish off with just doing 2 of your anchors, and that just helps to hold that tape down nice and firm as well. And so if you're strapping the outside ligament or the LCL and through the opposite side of the knee, it would be exactly the same strapping, but just on the other side. And often in rugby as well, you do need a little bit of additional support, same with football if you are wanting something a little bit firmer. We've got what's called EAB, which is a stretchy tight bandage, which just helps to provide a little bit more of a support, and we wrap that around in a little bit of a figure 8. We just kind of follow that same footprint of the rigid tape there. Usually 2 or 3 figure 8s is absolutely fine. And you just do want to make sure with the kneecap you're not coming up too close to the border of it, because you can get some nasty rubbing burns from the tape there as well. And then you just lock that off with some brown tape so it holds. And that's our MCL strapping.